One of the more challenging aspects for me in getting slightly less bad at War Thunder was learning that courage is absolutely punished in this game. I'm not saying that cowardice is rewarded, but it is becoming apparent that those who are truly successful are ones who don't go blazing in at full speed on a hero's charge. Instead, they take a very measured and calculated approach, and that lets them dominate the blind chargers, who are people like me. Early on in my War Thunder career, I was dying a lot, and I mean all the time. I would look at the scoreboard early and see myself with 2 deaths before anybody else, sometimes before they even got 1. And I still die a lot, but the rate is slowing down, but I digress. After a few dozen of these matches, I started to realize that it was, in fact, a skill issue. It had to be. It could not possibly be such bad luck that I was the one person that got killed the most every time in every single match. As you can tell, I am indeed a quick learner. It's because when I started playing War Thunder, I started playing it wrong. I mentioned in a previous video that War Thunder made me relearn my understanding of tanks. You see, I had played so much Final Fantasy XIV before War Thunder that my brain had been trained to think tank means you charge into the objective first, you take all the hits, and the rest of your team then cleans up while you survive the beating. And then in War Thunder, I learned that this could not be further from the truth. Now, if you're a long-time War Thunder player, you already know this, but if you don't play or you're new, the reality is that tanks are dramatically more fragile than popular culture has led us to believe. Like, yes, they do have armor, but that armor really isn't made to stand up to an anti-tank round. Beyond that, you got the engines, the tracks, and especially the crew and the ammunition. They are particularly vulnerable to attacks. So in War Thunder, a well-placed, even a solid shot with no explosive, but a well-placed shot that hits your ammo rack can detonate your entire life with just a tiny bit of exposed surface. Or what happens to me all the time is they manage to knock out my gunner every single time. It feels like without fail. So I just sit there helpless while it's counting down, and they just pummel away and then blow me up. This, of course, was not at all what I expected, and it caused me a ton of pain early. In this concept of courage getting you punished isn't just true of tank matches, it's true in air and naval as well. In air battles, it feels cool at first to lead the charge to the enemy, and you might even get the first kill, but then your options are either keep pushing forward at high speed and eventually you're cut off from your reinforcements and you're entirely surrounded by enemies, or you turn back after that first wave, but you still have all the enemies coming full speed, and they're going to be on your back very, very quickly. Very reliably, the person who leads the charge is also going to be the first one to get shot down. Naval combat, same way. People who lead the scoreboard are not the ones who are charging objectives, they're the ones who sit back, find cover, and just bomb away for the entire match. The concept that it took me a very long time to realize, and longer than it should have taken, as some might say, and I would say it too, it's fair, but the concept is that these matches often aren't won by rushing an objective point and holding them while valiantly fending off the other team. It's much more about whittling the other team down to where they simply don't have enough manpower left to ever take back those objectives or take them in the first place. Most winning matches I've been a part of have knocked out 2/3 of the opposing team, and then we just cruise through the objectives and then slowly mop up whoever's left on the other side. I was trying to play War Thunder like an action RPG or a hero shooter. I had this wildly inaccurate belief that I needed to sprint to the point, and then I'd take it, and I'd be firing off round after round, just fighting off the enemy team, blowing them up left and right. What actually happened almost every time is that I would get picked off along the way because, again, I'd be leading the charge, and there'd be someone who knew a clown just like me would try exactly that. And for a long time, I was wildly frustrated because I did not understand how the game demanded to be played. In this same concept of courage getting you punished does apply to trying to be a lone wolf. I cannot tell you how many times I've spawned into a map and headed toward the first objective my eyes were drawn to, and then I realized that my entire team was headed to the other ones. So then I was faced with this dilemma. Do I make a turn and join my teammates, be behind the action? Or I'm like, hey, I can just go solo, take this objective, be a hero, and get us some easy points. And I would say almost every single time I chose a solo path, there was a reason my teammates didn't go there. The enemy was rushing that point, and it ended in disaster for me time and time again. You see, this is a game where even winning a 2-on-1 is incredibly difficult, let alone a 4 or 5-on-1. Unless you're one of the sweats who knows exactly which tank is almost indestructible in certain battle ratings, I've seen a few of those guys set up near our spawn and just wreck us in some kind of, usually it's like a Soviet heavy tank, and they know they can take all the hits and just blow us up. But aside from those rare cases, you versus multiple tanks will rarely win. So when I took that path to where my team wasn't and I went off alone, I was most often bombarded by so many enemies. And even if you spot one and you can survive a hit or two, there's going to be two more creeping along to the side to hit your weak spots. It's a losing proposition. And the same holds true in planes. Sure, you might be able to outfly one, but there's going to be three more that will get just a few pot shots that even if it doesn't shoot you down, it's still going to cripple your plane. Just don't do it. Courage will be punished. It was after, I want to say, my 350th hour or so that it started to finally click. I finally had the common sense to join my teammates and set up in good firing position and scan the horizon. Now, my aim is not as good as theirs yet, but it has helped me survive those opening salvos for once, and it feels good to spot a tank and actually get a round off, and it might take me 3 or 4 shots, but at least I spot them, and maybe my teammates finish them for me, but that's okay as well. It makes a huge difference to actually survive those opening minutes, those opening salvos, and then you also get to thin them out instead of them taking you out right away. And then when someone does make a move on the objective from your side, it even could be you, you've got an entire team with firing lines backing you up in case someone does cross the horizon. And look, I'm not saying that Hero Ball in War Thunder never works. I mean, when you do pull it off, wow, it's amazing, and you wish you had more teammates nearby to see it. I mean, I am always in awe when someone on my side just cleans up while I'm sitting there with an unconscious gunner, tanks on fire, and I'm just cheering them on. So if you're experienced and you're good, obviously ignore a lot of what I'm saying, but if you're like most of us, if you're struggling, either new or longtime player, then heed my advice. Play smart. Play cautious, scan the horizon a lot longer than you think you need to, and look, if every single one of your teammates is hanging back and not moving forward, just know there's very likely a reason, and courage will be punished. That's it for me today. I just wanted to pass on what I think is the biggest lesson I've learned in the game so far. It's taken me hundreds of hours to soak it in, but there it is. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Either way, I'll see you next time. Sir Mediocre, out.